Hey everybody, it's Jim here, and today I'm going to be doing a quick tutorial on a riff that several people have requested. Actually started off inspired by a song called Tonight by the Japanese band Scandal, and I kind of modified it a little bit for YouTube creative purposes. So this is the riff. We are tuned to E standard. And that is the riff. So, to begin with here, you want to make sure that your hands are all stretched out. We're going to be doing a lot of kind of helicopter stuff here, and a lot of hand syncopation is necessary. You're going to find you're going to have your best results whether you're trying to work on this riff or anything on guitar. If your hands are properly stretched, that goes for your wrists, your fingers, and all that stuff. So, honor system. Now, I'm not going to dive into the theory of this riff. If you're uncertain about any of that, or you would really like to step up your knowledge, I again highly recommend the Signal Studios Songwriting and Theory course. It is an invaluable tool that will stay with you no matter what guitar you're playing, what style of music you want to play. It is worth it to invest in achieving the knowledge of music so you're able to understand and also to communicate with other people that are already understanding of the language of the art itself. So to begin with here, we are on a G major 7 at the 10th fret. But I slide into it from the D major 7 on the 5th fret. After we have the G major 7, we're going to go into the flavor chord, which is our diminished 7. Very, very tasty. Now the second half of this is extremely simple by comparison. It's literally the same shape 3 times. Alright, so now that we have the actual chords in mind here for the opening part of the song, or riff rather, we're going to work on the strumming. So, I like to think about things in terms of a drumming perspective because I started off as a drummer, so I try and match it with like a hi-hat and a snare depending on what I'm accenting the notes. So, for this pattern, before you even hit the chord, I would recommend starting off with the strings muted in the position and working on getting that part of it down. So, you want to make sure that you're muting strings that are not being used. In this specific example, it's both of the E strings. So my first finger here, my pointer finger, is touching the E string there, and then the base of it right around here is actually very lightly touching against that E string to make sure I'm not getting any unnecessary or unwanted sounds out of the guitar. So playing it now kind of slower, but the whole riff. Now those second chords here, you have this little inversion. You want to make sure that, again, your ring finger is muting the G string, or it's just not going to sound good, or rather the B string, or it's not going to sound very good. So you don't want that. So right, so up to speed a little bit. And that's the basics of the beginning part. And actually, I would say outside of the strumming pattern, the only really kind of difficult thing that if you're not used to playing these sorts of chord shapes would be going from the major 7 to the diminished 7. Outside of that, I mean, same chord 3 times in a row. Not that hard there. So after you hit that, it's going to transition into the second part of the riff. The chords for the second part are just G major, except I'm playing with a thumb over technique and muting the A string. A minor. B minor. C major. D major. D7, C major 7, or G major 7. So with the strumming of that, you're going to notice that on the first measure and the third measure, it's the same strumming pattern. And on the second measure and the fourth measure, it's the same strumming pattern before we get into the D. So showing you by kind of example here. See what I mean? Then after you're done with that, you're just going to land on the D, which has its own strumming pattern. Resolve to the G major 7. So going that all the way through here. Again, we're going to try and keep it a little bit slow. So now I'm going to play that whole riff at that slower tempo. As always, whenever you're learning something new, if you feel like things might be forced or you're pushing yourself, play to a metronome always and slow it down. Don't feel bad about slowing it down to make sure that you're getting any of the transitions or the strumming patterns dead on. It's better to learn it the right way first and then build up speed rather than start too fast. And you know, it's not a good habit to kind of make here when you're trying to learn or to compose something of this nature. So all the way through one more time here at kind of the regular tempo-ish. Or you can throw in an augmented chord. That's pretty much gonna do it. Guys, if you found this helpful, this is a cool riff. I know there's a few other ones where people have left comments asking me to do a tutorial. I'm not a big tablature person, but if this is something that you're interested in as far as this style of doing a little bit of a lesson, especially with the funk stuff, I love it. I could talk about it all day. Let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, happy practicing. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Like if you found it useful, and I'll see ya on the next one. Take it easy, everybody.